And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. This is in the Tiny Epic series from Game One Games, all designed by Scott Alms. This is a game of dinosaur ranching. I have a tendency to be a fan of dinosaurs. I like having games with dinosaurs in them. This is in the Tiny Epic series, and if you go back and look at my reviews of them, you'll see that there's some that I liked and some that I'm not so big of a fan of. Where does this one fit? Well, before we get to that, let's talk about how it plays. In this game, each player has their own ranch, and you just get kind of a random ranch. They're going to all be a little bit different as they set up. You also get a board here, a player color, to keep track of how many resources you have, plants, meat, and just simply supplies. Players also are going to get some workers. One of them is bigger than the rest. He's cooler. He's worth 2 of a normal worker. At the beginning of each round, and there are 6 rounds in the game, players are going to get resources based on what you can see on your board. So you get 1 supply, 3 meat, and 5 of the plants. However, as the game goes by, if I have a dinosaur in this enclosure here, for example, then I'm not getting the supply anymore. So as you fill your board up, you're going to get fewer supplies at the beginning of a turn. After getting your supplies, players are going to take turns placing workers on different spots. There's different sides of the boards here for different number of players, so this would be the 4-player side of the board. And what players are going to do is, when you can place a worker on a spot, if there are workers already on that spot, you need to place more than the value of that spot. So I could put, if I want to go to that same spot as the blue worker, I can put 2 red workers there. And the bigger worker counts as 2 workers, so if, for example, green was here, I could go to that same spot with my 2 worker, while if the green player wants to go where I'm at, they're going to have to put 3 there to go to that spot. Now, the different spots are going to do different things. In this first spot, you're getting dinosaurs. So here you capture a dinosaur. So if I go to one of these, I'll capture one of the 4 different types of dinosaurs that are included in the game for each of these spots. And then you're going to roll the Wrangler die. If you roll the net, you capture the dinosaur, and that's fine. If you roll the egg, hey, you get 2 of them. And if you roll the claws, then you and the dinosaur are both placed in medical leave, which clears up that spot so somebody else can go to it. Then there's spots where you can get different types of dinosaurs, but you have to pay some costs here. Down at the bottom, you can pay a supply and get any dinosaur you want, and you don't have to roll the dice for that. Over here, you're going to get fences or barriers, and over here, you're going to get supplies. You can see I can go here and get 2 meat and 2 supplies and things like that. At the end of a round, players are going to be taking everything from both the medical leave and from this holding area. So as you get stuff, you'll be putting it in the holding area, and you'll be placing them on the board. Each of these spots can only hold 1 dinosaur, but you also have to enclose them in. You start with 1 enclosed pen here, but you can use barriers. The mountains and the water will also naturally hold things in. So I can have a barrier like this, and maybe one like this. So I could put the same kind of dinosaur. So I could put 3 different dinosaurs in here. And maybe I want to put these 2 down here. And I can put a blue one in here, if I have all these dinosaurs, of course. So you're trying to enclose them. If you don't enclose them, they're going to run away. Herbivores are basically just going to smash fences, but carnivores are going to cause more trouble than that and might eat another dinosaur. So that's why you're trying to collect the different barriers, and you can even move things around. You have a chance to put a dinosaur out early in your ranch with one of these spots. The reason you're doing all this is because of contracts. That's these spots here. There's going to be some public contracts here, and players will also start the game with private contract. When you go to one of these spots, you can fulfill a contract. If you have those dinos in your ranch, you'll discard them, keep this card, which is going to be worth that many points at the end of the game. If you do a public contract, you may also do a private contract. Private contracts are much more lucrative. You can see this one's worth 17 points, but I can only do it if I also fulfill a public contract at the same time. Then there's research. These are spots you can go to get research cards. When you get research cards, you can take one of the face-up ones, or you can draw 3 from the top, keep one, putting the other 2 face up. Many of the the research cards are a very unique kind of dinosaur. So here's the Ankylosaurus, and that's a dinosaur. There's actually these are purple dinosaurs, so you'll find the exact miniature for that, and they're going to be able to go in any spot in your ranch. They don't even have to be enclosed, and they'll give you a special ability unless you get rid of that dinosaur. They're also going to be worth points at the end of the game if you still have them. But many of the contracts ask for a special dinosaur like this one does here. So you're going to have to decide if you're going to keep them for their special abilities. Then there's other things like mobile barriers, and these simply give you a special ability and points at the end of the game. So each round of the game, you're going to collect resources, assign your ranchers and get stuff, pull the ranchers back, rearrange your ranch. You have to feed your dinosaurs. Each of the dinosaurs that players have different feeding costs on here. So you can see the Stegosaurus requires 1 plant, Velociraptor 1 meat, and so on and so forth. The special dinosaurs that you get will require different things depending on each one. This one requires 2 plants. If you can't feed them, they're going to escape and cause havoc. And then after you feed your dinosaurs, you'll breed dinosaurs. If you have 2 dinosaurs in the same region and there's a spot, 2 or more, you'll get an extra dinosaur. And then you refresh a lot of the cards and get ready for the next round. At the end of the game, you're going to get points for the research cards you have, for contracts both public and private that you've done. Dinosaurs that are still in your ranch are going to be worth points based on the side of the card here. And whoever has the most points is the winner. The little dinosaurs are certainly cute, and I think it's a nice touch that all the purple dinosaurs are different. So if I have the T-Rex, I use the T-Rex miniature. That's kind of cool. All the pieces are fine. My complaint here with the size is more of maybe a personal one for me, in the sense that there is a lot of text, especially on these research cards, because they all give special abilities and such, and it's really hard to read those, I think, with small. The cards are good quality. I like the pictures. I think it's really easy to see what you need for the different contracts. The die is good quality. All the different things are good. So my only complaints with the size problem is just reading these cards and what they do. And I also found that it's not too easy at a glance to tell the difference between your bigger and your smaller worker. Other than that, it's fine. Everything fits barely in the box, but it does. I like the art on the box. It's very cute, artwork here. Although I do think it's funny. This is a cool picture here, but it says Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. There's no dinosaurs in this picture. It's fine. But the rule book's really well written. There's also rules and some components included for solo gameplay. And in fact, you can flip over most of the player colors, and then it gives you a specific type of rancher that you'll play against. So let's talk about some of the small problems I have with the game first. The Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, like I said, I don't want to harp on, it's tiny. I get that, the price point, smaller game. I just felt like the text on the cards was a little difficult to read at times. But there's just a few weird things. The rolling the die when you catch a dinosaur feels like it should be more exciting than it is. It's kind of weird. You're like, oh no, I rolled a claw. And that means now I go over here to the medical area, but I get the dinosaur and guy back anyway. So it doesn't really hurt you unless you were planning to use another action space to put that dinosaur out this turn. And it helps other people that you've cleared that space out so they can go there. It just has a different feel than I think it was meant to have. I'm like, oh, I got clawed, but okay, who cares most of the time. In fact, sometimes I would roll the egg and be like, oh no, I got 2 dinosaurs. I only wanted 1 because I can't feed 2. So there's that. The other weird thing I found was the private contracts can only be completed if you do a public one at the same time. And the only reason I can think that exists is it's an artificial mechanism to make you fill your ranch up with dinosaurs so that you have to have 7 at one time to get rid of. And that just felt forced to me. It's a wonky thing, and I had to explain it every time, like, listen, yes, you have this private contract. Yes, you cannot do it unless you also do a public one, so you need to do both at the same time. And you could just start doing the public ones and maybe be faster. Who knows? Those are the small minor things I have. There's a lot of things I do like. I like that. I think every single research card is different. I like that there's all those little unique dinosaurs. The T-Rex is my favorite. It's very difficult. It costs 3 meat to feed it, but it's worth a lot of points. And if you want, you can feed it another dinosaur on your ranch instead of the meat. I like that. I like having different things than everybody else. I like worker placement games. This one has a lot of places to put your stuff. It follows the mechanisms of that you could put more workers out to go where someone else is. I didn't see that being used as much other than once. If I put 1 worker, you could be like, I can still put my big worker there. Or I could put 2 workers there. But usually people were like, oh, you went there? I'll go here instead. And there wasn't as much crossing like, oh, you went to where I want to go. Later on in the game, people want to get those objectives first, or they want to get dinosaurs first. But I just didn't find that to be as big of a feature. Building your ranch, putting up the enclosures. It's kind of funny because I often use this term, but it's a Frankenstein of a game. It's taking stuff from Agricola. It's taking stuff from other games. And in fact, I don't know that this offers a tremendously different experience than Dinosaur Islands and and then Dinogenics, bigger dinosaur games, with the exception that this is in a smaller package. The one cool thing that this does do that I enjoy is besides the research cards, is I like that the ranch produces your resources, but the more dinosaurs you have out there, the fewer resources you get. I think that's a cool idea. I also think there's a lot of options on your turn. There's a lot of places to go to. It also keeps things going. The game looks heavier, I think, than it is. It's a little light of a game, but I don't mind that. It's cool. You get to be a dinosaur ranch. The whole thing fits in a box that's this size, so that's a benefit. So overall, I enjoyed it. Yes, there's a few minor problems I have with it, but overall, if you're looking for a fun dinosaur experience, I might recommend the bigger ones over this one. But if you're, looking for something portable and space-wise, this is certainly a good one and brings the dinosaur theme to life. I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. Dice Tower Judgment approved.